I wanted to talk briefly about some tonics, and then they're all not the same for everyone, all right? It's even within the family, all right? So let's say there's this black Bart. That's a universal type thing. Show black Bart for Patrick if he took it. So I'm over here at 7.5, 7.5. Now someone else in my family, if they took black Bart, could you show me where it is? I'm visualizing that person. I go up to, I have to be patient. Let's go down lower. It's about 8.5. Now watch this one. Elderberry. Could you show it for Patrick? Could you show elderberry for Patrick? So here, do you see it? It's over here. It's like 6 stars out of 10. 4, anything above 4 is positive. So it would be a bit positive. This other person I'm thinking about in the family, if they had elderberry police daily, and I'm getting about 9.5, 10. So even within the same family, elderberry would be completely different. So that, I just want you to keep that in mind when you're out there doing tonics and things. You know, it's not the same for everyone. In the general population, it's really different. There's not too many tonics that's good for everyone. We're all just different. And then I wanted to talk quickly about will Donald Trump, what is the probability, 1 through 10, he'll complete his 4-year term? 100%. Okay, so it's very low. It's like 10%. I'm about the only one. I do go back and forth a little bit. You know, I ask the questions differently, and but this is sort of coming back, and we'll know sometime in the August. Okay, is this done? What is the probability he's going to be forced out of office due to corruption, impeachment, national security, anything? No, that's not the reason. What is the probability he resigns due to his family situation? The stress on the family is too much, and that's like 95. It's a family issue. What's the probability? And let's switch the chart. 10 and 10, negative 10, positive 10. Where's Pence relationship to Trump? Where's Pence? His inner feeling guide, his political stuff. Where's Vice President Pence? We already know it's the same. I did this a year or 2 years ago. It's over here. It's always like a negative, a significant negative. And I'm not sure what's that about, why that's happening. The reason I ask him, I go, what's the probability the next president after Donald Trump will be Ivanka Trump, or whatever her name is. There it is. Ivanka will be 95%. She's going to be it. What is the probability? Let's go back over here. Let's go, when she takes office, what will be the cosmic poll for Ivanka? She's going to have 80% of the people behind her. All right? If there was an election, would Ivanka Trump win? Yes, no. In 2020. Yes, she would win. Let's go to neutral, please. Yes, no. Will she win easily? You know, that is over 65%. Something big. Yeah, see, it's going to be really cosmic. What is the probability there'll be a national election in 2020? What is the probability there'll be an election in 2020? Okay, it's about 10%. So you can see when I'm talking about we're having changing times coming up, we do. And would this be an emergency government she's part of? Yes. How much? Yeah, about 90%. Will Ben Carson be her vice president? Yes, no. Kind of delaying. Will Ben Carson? There he goes. Yes. What's the probability he will eventually be vice president, one way or another? 95%. I had him, you remember, back in 2015, leading the list of VP for Donald Trump. And that's when Donald Trump hasn't even won a primary. I was getting Ben Carson is very strong as VP. I didn't know of Pence, of his existence. And you see how Dowsing kind of played a trick with me? Yeah, he's going to be VP, but not in this election. A couple elections down the road. That's kind of funny. So he's punching his ticket on getting big government experience. And that's important because the government is just a different entity, and you do need experience. You just can't put someone with no experience in how bureaucracies work. It's you know, it's paper pusher madness, and it's really petty, you know, inside the halls of these bureaucracies. So you have to understand the petty politics. You're always being set up. There are always red herrings around to trip you up because someone wants to move up. And that's just the human nature of the human experience. It's not bad or good. All right. And then I was going to say what? So, we'll keep monitoring the Trump thing because, watch this. If Trump decided to stay and not resign, what is the probability he'll be reelected president in 2020? What is the probability he would be elected president? It's like 90, 95. So even if this scenario doesn't happen, Trump will be reelected. As a result of this election, will the next election be how much more fair or less fair or the same? This is minus 10, excuse me, minus 100, plus 100. It's already went. Let me see. Could you go back to normal, please? Thank you. Could you do it again? Show me. Okay. It will be the next election, if it exists, and I say that's 25% more fair. That's all you ask for, you know. And don't forget, you remember what California was? I won't repeat the number. Extremely high corruption, and New York is really high, and so it's going to be much more fair. And okay, go back to neutral. When will there, okay, I got 100 years in front of me. One, over here is 100 years. When will there be disclosure of our ET contacts coming down for the mass consciousness of man to experience? They land, you know, at the long, it's pretty high. Let's just call it 25 years. It's not 2 or 3 years. So people like anybody who's talking about ET stuff, you're not going to be able to have an ET come out and say identify. I don't think they want to do that. And I'm really surprised by that number. I'm really surprised. Does the top echelons of the CIA, let's say the highest 100 CIA directors and employees, what percent believe in ETs with the U.S. government? What percent? I'm pretty much getting 100%, maybe 98%, something like that. You see, the government knows all about this right now. What percent of the 100 top actually had seen an ET in existence on a facility like air base, military base, out in nature? They physically were introduced to an ET. This is the top 100 CIA personnel, and I'm getting 22%. So it's not well known, even in the top levels. Has President Donald Trump, oh, probably shouldn't even ask this, has he ever met an ET? Has he met an ET? Yes, no. Yes, no. It's leaning towards yes. It's going to go slow. Now sometimes, okay, it's saying yes. Diagonal is yes. Sometimes if it gets stuck here, I can jiggle it. It doesn't matter. It's like a compass. It'll go back towards the answer. It's just like a compass. If it was north is like, let's say west. West is over this way. And if it got stuck here a little bit because it has a physical obstruction, you know, I could jiggle this because this is not totally smooth. But it usually just blasts through it. But sometimes it gets stuck. I could just kind of jiggle it a little and it'll go to north. or go to west. It'll go to which way is the closest mountain lion? Which way is the closest mountain lion? All right, he's that way. Okay, how many miles is the closest? How many miles? That's pretty far. I'm surprised. Let's say, no, it's still going. I have to show patience sometimes. Okay, there it is. It's usually a mile. It's usually a mile. Today she is a mile. I say maybe under a mile, but about a mile that way. So if I get out and start walking and trespass across my neighbor that doesn't like me, or Max, we'll hit the mountain lion. And you know, behind the house here, this house, the mountain lion took down a deer. It's about 100 feet behind the house. I didn't hear it, but I got the antlers up like a totem for the property to keep these people away. Everybody, I don't know. And my animals have had a hard time here, but it's going to change. You know, we're moving, we're changing. The energies are changing, and even locally around here, it's going to change for the better for me, actually. But you know, it's just perseverance. Keep your head down. Don't get road rage. You know, should you show me the percent of road rage incidences compared to 20 years ago? Okay, let's go to 1, please. Could you give me 1? Could you give me 1? Let's go to 0. Okay, there's 0. 1 through, I'm looking for a percentage change. How much more percentage road rage is there today versus 20 years ago? Shoot. So it's like 60% more. Do you believe that? So compared to 10 years ago? Let's really do something. We'll go back to a different era. 1960 USA. How much more road rage now per capita is there? Do you see how this culture has changed? It's like 80% more today compared to 1960. And most of us who are a little bit older, I mean 1960, I was like, you know, 4 or 5 years old. And boy, can I tell you a few things. But the people were different. There was etiquette. There were manners. And just looking at this, road rage. You didn't do road rage. You just did, you know, you didn't yell at other people. You didn't lean on the horn. I mean, this is just how it's a decorum of moving through society. And now, why is today so acrimonious? Why do we have road rage? Why do we people looking around, looking for fights, looking to start arguments? This is really interesting, and I gave many reasons why the culture is changing, because it is under assault consciously by darkness, by the demonic forces. This is consciously done. The universities are changing, and that's why we'll just do this last one. I already did this before. Show me, go to 1, what's the vibration in stars of 1930? Okay, it's 4 stars. Oh, 5 stars, yeah. That's what I thought. It's 5 star plus. 5.5 star is the frequency of the top 100 universities. The same universities, can you show me the frequency of these universities? Practically 0. I would give it at most 1 star, if not half. Half is, it's Lucifer. Lucifer runs that operation. And this is true of all the universities, and it's very difficult to break free. And I went to my last 2 grades, 11th and 12th grade, I had a really neat experience of going to like a classical education, and it really sped me up in a lot of ways on philosophy, on the Greek plays, you know, the Greek tragedies, so and even a little bit of Roman. It was great. All that English literature, French literature, you just learned all these classics, and it trains your mind, because the psychology, especially like English literature, they were the psychologists of the era. They understood people. That's what character development is in writing for these novels. That's why certain storylines, you know, the flawed character going through, well, what did he have? Well, he had the Oedipus complex, let's say. Well, these people, they were all educated back then, and they understood the psychology. They understood the Joseph Campbell archetypes, which I haven't read, but I'm a big proponent of it. You know, especially the Arthurian type archetype. You know, who we are all Arthur. That's the secret. That's the Holy Grail. That's the secret. You have to find out you are the king and queen, and you don't know it. And you must go and pull that sword out of that stone. I got to go because I'm going to freeze my frame. I'm running out of memory. But, you know, this is how the way you have to view the universe. It's very complicated. There's a lot of hands in the cookie jar influencing your life. So when you increase your own frequency, you're going to be more focused on your journey. So the hands in the cookie jar won't make any difference, whether it's from the government entities, whether it's from demonic things like that, people doing curses on you. This will give you the strength. You just keep yourself surrounded. And don't forget, you can have surrounded high-frequency art in your room or your house, your apartment. You know, something, if the frequency is really high, it's going to hold that space. Even doing the Lord's Prayer and print it up, put it as a painting, you can do that. And the other one, the Buddhist prayer on forgiveness, well, you can put it on a frame. All these will hold the space in your environment. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. Bye-bye.